Okay. Just waiting for Facebook to tell me that I'm live. Looks like I've been live for about 7 seconds. Hi guys. I'm Colleen Mitchell. I'm a life coach, writer, a host of a podcast on type 1 diabetes, and I also have a full-time job working in the power industry. I focus on helping entrepreneurs create financial independence, freedom, peace, whatever that means to them, in their lives by getting to the root of how they spend their time and making powerful decisions to honor their calendars. Because how we do one thing is really how we do everything. Hi, Helen. It's nice to see you here. Thought you were going to be late, but it's good to have you on. So what we're talking about today, I sort of accidentally on purpose took the entire month of July off from doing any lives, but I'm back today to talk about belief plans. Now, this is a concept I learned from my teacher, Stacey Bayman. I'm in her coaching program, and this is a concept that she came up with. The basic idea is that most people believe that they need to do a lot of things to become a success or to reach their goals. And so they write these massive to-do lists and get caught up in making sure they check each box and keep moving down the list. Now, the problem with that is when it doesn't work. When we second guess ourselves. When we take a decision back and try something else because that first thing isn't working, but we didn't spend enough time on it to find out if it really works. This is something I'm still working on. Now, if you've seen any of my other lives, read some of my work, and especially if you follow Brooke Castillo, you'll know that thoughts create feelings, which drive actions. And every action we take is based on how we feel about things. So there's a difference between actions we take that we think will create results for us and actions we take that grow belief in and about ourselves. Those belief-growing actions are ones that come from a place of confidence, curiosity, commitment, determination, and other goal-focused emotions. And those emotions come from things you already believe or are practicing believing. Stacey says this in her podcast episode on belief plans. There are times when you do things and nothing shifts and no growth happens. And there's times when you do something and it changes your life and you become a different person. So let me give you some examples. I have written a daily belief plan, well, almost daily, since May 8th. Some of the things I've written on my belief plan, well, I have a whole stack of them right here, go like this. Every day is a new opportunity. Nothing has gone wrong. That's an interesting one. This is an experiment. That one is really helpful when you get caught up in wondering if you should be doing something or not. It's just an experiment. I'm willing to feel any feeling, even the negative ones. Doing the work could be the best part. We often think that doing the work is really hard and we slog through it, but what if actually doing the work is the best part? Another one is I'm willing to learn any skill necessary for success. A lot of people think that they're just stuck with what they have. That comes from growth mindset versus fixed mindset. When you have fixed mindset, you don't think that you can learn new things. But being willing to learn any skill necessary, that's growth mindset. Now, choosing to believe these things on purpose means that I work on embodying them. The more I think about them, the more they generate feelings like empowered, curiosity, commitment, determination, openness, and even renewal. And those feelings drive actions that take me closer to my goals than any actions I would take that come from feelings like graspiness, need, scarcity, and fear. Another thing that Stacey said is to really think about this to-do list and look at it and say, is this to-do list going to change how I see myself? Maybe it is, but maybe it's not. We say that actions create results, but if you follow the model back, it's really the thoughts that create those results. And what are beliefs? Beliefs are just thoughts you think enough times that they become part of your identity. Now, I want to share an evaluation of writing down belief plans for so long. And an evaluation, as defined by Stacey Bayman, is reviewing what worked, what didn't work, and what to do differently, in that order. So what worked? Consistency, as in having it as part of my morning routine and doing it every day, that helped solidify some of the beliefs on my belief plan. Now, over time, some beliefs came up more than others. After a while, I started keeping the belief plans propped up against the back of my keyboard. And this is my keyboard. It has a lip on the back, so an index card will sit nice against the back and prop up so I can see it. So whenever I glanced down, I could see those beliefs right there. And seeing them was often a reminder that I'm in charge of what I think. Another thing that worked is that it's easier for me to come out of a funk now because I can think about those beliefs that I want to believe and practice them, instead of dissolving into self-pity or woe is me when things don't go how I wanted them to. Now, what didn't work? Maybe not surprisingly, it's sometimes easier to come up with the things that didn't work than it is to come up with things that did. At first, like I said, I wrote them down on index cards, and then I posted them in the coaching Facebook group, Stacy's Facebook group. And then I immediately put the card away with the rest of them. I had them in a drawer back there. I didn't keep it visible to look at throughout the day, and as they say, out of sight, out of mind. Doing that meant that I didn't keep those beliefs that I wanted to practice at the front of my consciousness, and I ended up forgetting what I wrote down until the next morning when I looked at it for reference. And because I was posting every day in the Facebook group, I ended up not wanting to post the same beliefs every day. I wanted it to be fresh and new for the people who were seeing it. So I tried to come up with new ones, and that drained me and took away from the power of focusing on a set of 5 or 6 beliefs that I really want to practice believing. I was looking at the metrics of comments and likes on those posts, which told me that I cared more about what the other coaches in the group thought than I did about whether or not the whole thing was working. When I went on my vacation at the beginning of July, I actually stopped writing them daily. When I got back, I found that the habit was difficult to return to, and I had some other struggles that weighed me down. Getting out of the consistency for longer than a day or two seemed to really undo the progress that I'd made. It's like going to the gym. When you go regularly, your muscles are strong and you can lift a lot of weight. But if you stop going for even as little as 2 weeks and then you go back, you can't lift as much as you could. Exercising beliefs is like exercising your muscles. You have to keep practicing them for them to take root and become an innate, unconscious belief about yourself. Now, what to do differently? Well, first of all, I'm not going to be writing a daily belief plan or a different belief plan every day. I'm going to go through the stack of beliefs that I've written. All these, there's a whole bunch of them. I'm going to go back through those, pick out the ones that resonate the most, and then tape them to my wall, my mirror, my fridge, make it my desktop background, maybe put it on a sticky note. I have a bunch of sticky notes on my monitor. Anything to keep those beliefs visible and top of mind wherever I look. Consistency is one thing, but visibility is powerful too. So I'm going to stop posting daily in the coaching group where I was posting these. Like I said, I was more concerned about the likes and the comments than I was on actually sharing my beliefs with people who could use them too. A lot of the comments were from people thanking me for sharing, picking out beliefs that they wanted to use, but it was almost like that didn't even matter to me. When in doubt, if you notice something having a negative effect on your mindset, stop doing it and see what comes up. Another thing I'm going to do is build intentional models for each of those beliefs. I talked about the model in the live video on dealing with the fear of rejection, but here's a quick recap. Circumstances in the world are things that are out of our control. Those trigger thoughts. Thoughts drive feelings, which drive actions, which drive results. An intentional model is putting the thought that I want to believe in the T line, the thought line, and then working down to identify what that thought would make me feel, what actions I would take from that feeling, and what result would come from those actions. Building intentional models for each belief will identify the actions that I need to take and the feelings that I need to take them from. And like I mentioned at the beginning, sometimes the actions that we take increase the belief in ourselves. So that's something to experiment with. Taking action from beliefs that you're practicing on purpose will always be more powerful than the actions you take by default. Remember, how we think about things determines how we experience them. If we choose what we think, if we choose to believe the thoughts that serve us, then there's nothing standing in the way of the results those beliefs generate, but the practice it takes to embody that belief and really make it part of you. So I want to thank you for joining me today, Helen especially for joining me live. If you know someone who would love this message, please share them to this video, invite them to join the Facebook group. This video will be posted on YouTube as well. And please put any questions you have about belief plans or this kind of work in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them in a future live. And if you're interested in going deeper with changing your beliefs, sign up for a consultation call to find out if working together would be a good fit. The direct scheduling link is in the description, or you can go to inspiredforward.com/coaching. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me, guys.